Paris's landmark cathedral, Notre-Dame, making another milestone. The towers have been fully restored after the fire that devastated the iconic cathedral back in 2019. French President Emmanuel Macron inaugurating the towers this Friday. They're said to be reopening with an enhanced route for visitors. The cathedral, of course, made famous by Victor Hugo's novel published back in 1831. And the towers reopening to the public on Saturday, all 424 steps, some 69 meters above the ground. And that will be coinciding with this weekend's European Heritage Days, when people get an often behind-the-scenes look at landmark or government buildings. Joining me on the set is France 24's reporter Aurore Dupuis. Hello to you, Aurore.
Hello.
You're just back from having visited the towers yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you saw.
Well, it was the first time that I could actually see the spire up close. If you remember, that old spire got completely damaged by the fire back in 2019. Now there's a new one, and you can see it from a crazy angle when you get up to the south tower. You can see the 12 apostles at its base. And the last statue actually was the one of St. Thomas, which had just been placed back in July. So when you climb up the south tower, which is actually the tower on the right when you're facing the cathedral, and as you said, it's 69 meters high, and there is a breathtaking view of Paris. You see the Latin Quarter, the Panthéon, La Sorbonne, the Montparnasse Tower, and of course another great lady, the Eiffel Tower. But you have to earn it. So President Emmanuel Macron will have to climb up 424 steps up and down, so it is very sporty. But don't worry, because there are some areas where you can actually catch your breath and get some rest, because you can then admire the architecture, the models, the framework of the bell tower, which is actually where he's going to go right now.
Yeah, and just behind you, actually, we see the South Tower on the screen there. It's the one that's open. That's the one that's closest to the River Seine. This tower wasn't affected by that fire back in 2019, but it did need restoration nonetheless.
Yes, absolutely, because the cathedral is getting a huge makeover. It's the first time that we see the whole structure that carries the bells, and this has never been seen before in another cathedral. The oak beams have been replaced, the bell yokes have been changed too, and you can almost touch the most famous bell at Notre Dame, which is Bell Emmanuel, which is quite ironic because we've got President Emmanuel Macron, but the Bell Emmanuel is actually the biggest. It weighs 13 tons, and it's the oldest. It was made under Louis XIV, and it has witnessed major historical events, from Napoleon's coronation to the liberation of Paris. Now, in this new south tower, there's also a new double staircase that leads up to the Gallery of Chimeras, which is what the president will see as well. These are the monstrous creatures that you can see on the cathedral, straight out of medieval imagination. And they actually popped up in the 19th century after Victor Hugo's Hunchback of Notre Dame novel. And architects are actually thought to have been inspired by the book to create those monstrous creatures. And since then, Notre Dame has, of course, always fascinated people. It's the most visited monument in France, with more than 8 million visitors since December 2024. And you remember the emotion that the fire triggered when it broke out. There were 350,000 donors. More than 800 million euros were gathered to rebuild this 12th century lady. There you go. You can see them climbing up the double staircase there. So there is still 140 million euros left to continue with the renovation work, which should last until about 2030. And I have been told that a new call for donations will be made after that point to finish revamping entirely the cathedral.
So more restorations, but nonetheless, we can see those towers starting tomorrow. And in the meantime, we can read the book, because why not? It's a great book. It's a great cathedral. Thank you very much for Aurore Dupuis telling us about the restoration works at Notre-Dame Cathedral.